All the petals, or most of them, have fallen and have passed their time. We're having some of the hottest days in the year. Even the media are talking about breaking records of temperatures here. It's wonderful to see people in contemplation and prayer, to gather our thoughts, to be in the presence of our Creator, our Provident Lord. I remember the story of the editor of a very large mission magazine in Germany, a layman. And I don't remember his name, but he gave us a talk once in Germany back in the early 90s. And he explained the situation of the church in China. But the one memory that stays with me and that also deeply impressed him was when he recounted how when he entered a church, any church of the underground churches in China, nobody in the church noticed him coming in or out. Nobody looked to him. Nobody paid attention to him. They were so deeply engrossed in their prayer, in their conversation with God. They were so totally present to God that nothing else was happening. We are often very distracted when we're in church and maybe paying more to other things than to the Creator, to our Redeemer, to our Provident Lord, to our everlasting joy. We get so easily distracted. In a certain sense, the first reading today in Deuteronomy is a guided reflection by Moses on how to maintain that deep fervor, that deep appreciation for God's love, for God's presence, for God Himself, to remain and to grow in true spirit of adoration, of fidelity, of union with Him. How to remain in this love, to love and serve God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength. And that must have been also a great concern of the people at the time of Jesus in terms of their religious education and discussion and awareness and all the culture of memory that they developed, which we have inherited in the church, this remembering through the feast days the story of God's interventions for humanity. That's the reason for them, because if we didn't, let's say we didn't have Christmas and Easter as major celebrations, how where would we be of the incarnation? Where would we be of the passion, death, and resurrection of Christ? They would fade into memory with more haze than we see blocking the sunrise this morning. As even if it was risen for a while, we didn't even notice because there was so much haze. And how not to live a life in haziness, in unclarity, but to live it with great consciousness and dedication and a fullness of awareness. Wake up, man, look at the reality around you. So in a certain sense, that's what this text is doing. Think, he says, think. We have to use our pondering, our reason. Our religious sentiment doesn't necessarily come alive just as a feeling. And really at the very end as well, the feeling isn't what counts. What counts is to live a life, to conform our lives to God's will. Whether we have enjoyable, rewarding feelings from it or not. And so the word think, so what does think appeal to? Well, it means that we need to ponder. The word to ponder means to weigh things up. Pondus in Latin, it's a neutral word. It means weight, to ponder, to consider. To consider. Think, the heavens, even the highest heavens, belong to the Lord your God. The whole world belongs to God. The whole world belongs to God. Even the highest heavens, the sun. And now we know that the sun is only 90-something million miles away. And it's only one solar system, and it's our solar system, and there's so much more. Just let your mind run. Think, the heavens, even the highest heavens, the stars, the new galaxies, the new constellations, belong to the Lord your God, as well as the earth and everything on it. You have that famous line later in the prophets saying, I don't need your sacrifices. I own everything that's on the mountain. I own everything that's in the fields. It's already mine. The issue is your heart. Where is your heart? Do you recognize the truth of reality? Think, ponder, think. Recognize the truth of reality. Yet in his love for you, for your fathers, the Lord was so attached to them as he chose you. I remember my dad once telling me that I'm the oldest of 5, that he and my mom didn't have favorites. They loved us all completely, totally. So that stuck with me, that little conversation. I don't know where we were on the farm doing things, and he made that comment. On the other hand, we human beings love to be the favorite. We love to be considered, and that comes with also our deep dignity as human beings. We have an extraordinary dignity, and when it's trampled upon and ignored, that hurts. And that also speaks to our truth. And then when we are recognized and considered, that's something beautiful and good. We relish it. We like it. But then we can easily appropriate it like we do everything and just make it ours and make it exclusively ours. But in a way, this whole culture of being chosen, which is something that we all want to be, and this is what we inherit. And our theology, our Christian theology as well, recognizes that our spiritual lives, our faith life, are gifts from God that he gives us because he loves us. He chooses us. We as persons want to be recognized as persons, and we are chosen. We are special to God. And that doesn't mean we exclude the others, but that God chooses us. It's not just like we come out of the end of a machine and we get everything like automatic. There's a direct purpose and will in God to choose us. We are very limited in our capacities. We can't lift up Mount Arbel and move it over there to another place. You can't take the Sea of Galilee back to your country. Thank God we do crazy things if we had that amount of power. And the God of this whole world chooses to be in relationship with me. He calls me to know him. And this is the purpose why he created everything, that I enter into a personal relationship with him. That's an amazing, amazing gift, amazing richness for our lives. But then it goes on to say, the Lord of Lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who has no favorites and accepts no bribes. Like, what's the purpose of a bribe? It's to get a special advantage, which at the end of the day is very unjust. But God gives us a special advantage just by creating us, by providing for us in so many ways. We need to think, people. We need to think. This is a great word for Moses today, to think. We have the word listen, Shema Israel. But here this is a very powerfully expressed word, think. I wonder what it is in Hebrew. Think. So too you must befriend the alien. Because God does. God befriends the alien. So being chosen and having a major gift that God gives me, a place, a land, a house, a family. If I didn't have that, I'd be an alien. But I'm not an alien. And so we have to befriend the alien. He who is your glory, he, your God, who has done for you those great and terrible things which your own eyes have seen. Ponder, think, evaluate your experience of life with God. I think that's enough for today. I'd love to have gone to the gospel, but it's also the same thought as in the gospel when Jesus says to Peter, whom do the kings pay taxes? To whom? He owns all the earth. He owns everything. It's a great lesson, a beautiful pedagogy, how he leads Peter to reflection, to think, to think. To think, to draw real conclusions about reality. People, God bless you. The next 2 mornings, because of pilgrims, I'm going to have possible modifications in the morning. Maybe one morning I'll do it earlier, maybe even tomorrow morning, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll just announce that on the WhatsApp link there. God bless you. See you later, alligators. I'll definitely do something, but I might have to adjust the time.